Yeah, as you can see, many people have asked us for help with their raid farm, and to my surprise, no one has ever made a video showing the most common problems that occur. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to cover today. But before we jump into the video, make sure to subscribe and check the description for the latest updates. And if you go through this entire video without finding the answer you need, then you can join my Discord server where I think someone will help you. I think. The first thing you should check is the game rule. Make sure the game rule disable raids is set to false. If it's set to true, they won't spawn at all. Next, ensure that your difficulty setting is not on peaceful. Raiders won't spawn in peaceful mode, so I recommend setting it to hard mode. If you're playing on a version below 1.16, then the farm won't work at all. And if you used my 1.21 raid farm, then you'll need to be in 1.21 for the farm to work. And you can't run it below 1.21 either. This may not be the case, but don't run the farm in creative mode. Switch to survival because, yeah. Lag may cause the farm not to spawn any mobs, so if you lag, you should use a manual auto clicker. Build it outside the farm, and I'll show you right now how it works. So say the attack interval is 30 game ticks. If that's the case, build a 30 game tick clock outside the farm, like shown, and place a node block at the end, so when you hear it, you'll start attacking the armor stand or minecart. And if you have a 20 game tick attack interval, then build a 20 game tick clock. Next, ensure that your farm is built at least 6 chunks away from any land, because if it's closer, then mobs might spawn on that land instead of the actual farm. Make sure that you have all villagers in your farm and you're not missing just one, because if you miss just one, then the farm basically won't work. Make sure the farm is sub-chunk aligned, and if it's not, then you have to rebuild the whole farm, unfortunately. Make sure there is air above all spawning places, so if there's any blocks, then you need to remove it so mobs can spawn there. Your server may include mods or plugins that break raid farms, and if that's the case, you can ask the owner to change it. And if stacking raid farms don't work, I think you can build an instant raid farm, which I'll link in the description below. If you have the schematic mod, you can use the schematic verifier to see if you built anything wrong. And if you don't have it, you can probably double check with the tutorial that nothing is built wrong and all the blocks are placed correctly. Lastly, you'll need to check if your villagers are slowed down. I'll link you right now the timestamp to my other video which shows exactly how to check it. And if it's slowed and you have access to the server configuration, then you can check the description on what to change. And if you don't have access to it, then build the instant raid farm, which will also be in the description below. Alright, I think that's about everything that covers why raiders won't spawn. Let's talk about why vexes may spawn on your raid farm. Reason number 1 is that you are lagging. Build a manual auto clicker like I showed earlier. Reason number 2 is that your sword is not right. Make sure it has sharpness 5 and sweeping edge 3, and that you have strength 2 and regen in the beacon. Lastly, make sure you position yourself on top of the armor stand or minecart so you can reach all mobs when you kill them. If you don't get the raids that I said you should get, then you're in easy or normal mode, so set it to hard. And you probably don't have looting 3 either, so make sure you have it. If you still don't get the raids, you're either lagging or not running the farm for long enough to determine the raids. If your armor stand breaks, then check your attack interval and make sure it's the one that you're supposed to have when you run the farm. And make sure you don't have fire aspect on your sword because it can burn the armor stand. And make sure you're not in creative mode because one hit can break the armor stand or minecart and you won't collect it. And if none of that is working, I think you're just lagging and you'll have to slow down your attack interval. Okay, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, make sure to ask in my Discord server and not my comments. I barely check them and you probably won't get a response for weeks or months, so join my Discord server where someone will help you.